Hey guys, welcome to this new tutorial. Now I know I haven't posted in a while, I've been quite busy. But anyway, let's jump right in. So in this tutorial we're gonna finally apply a gameplay effect to the actor that we're hitting. Currently we don't have any gameplay effect to apply, so let's make one. I'm gonna go to my ability systems folder, make a new folder. I'm gonna call it gameplay effect. It's where I'm gonna store all my gameplay effects, and then make a new blueprint and find gameplay effect. I'm gonna call it G for gameplay effect and call it hit react. Let's say Stagger. Now inside, all I'm gonna do is change this to infinite and add a component to it, and then find grant tags to target actor. Let's make a new tag. So let's add one, call it hit react Stagger. Here we go. Now all this effect does is just apply a tag to an actor. Pretty simple. Now, because it's an infinite effect, you can't really remove it, but we will deal with that later. So I can now set my new effect. So this is the effect that I want to apply now when I hit. Let's go to the C++. So currently, OnOverlap, we are calling handle movement, which bumps the other actor that we are hitting. So what we also need to do here is to call a function to apply a gameplay effect. But first, we can't really apply gameplay effect directly. We need to work with a gameplay effect spec handle. So we need to convert our gameplay effect into a gameplay effect spec handle. So let's create a function to do that. I'm gonna make a new function. Let's call it prep effect specs. Yeah, that's a good name for it. Alright, now what we want to do in here is to first check, let's check if we do have some valid effects. We should have one, we just set one there. But if we don't have any, we'll just return. And then we can loop over all the effects that we have. Here we go. Now let's check if it's valid first. Is valid effect class. Now if it's valid, so wait, let me show you what we're trying to do actually. We want an effect, where is it? Gameplay effect spec handle. That's what we want to make. That's what we want to apply to the other character. Let's call it effect spec handle. Now, how do we make a spec handle? We need to tell our ability system component to make one. So we need access to the ability system component. So let's do that. So ability system. Here we go. Now let's make sure that it's valid. Okay, now if it's valid, we can tell our ability system component to make outgoing spec. And this is what returns a gameplay effect spec handle. Now to make a gameplay effect spec handle, we need to provide first thing a gameplay effect. And we do have that, so we can just pass in the effect class. Second thing that we need to pass in is a it says float level, so we need an ability level. Now you can hardcode this in, you can just put any number that you want, but we can also do, let me just get the level from the ability. So what we're gonna do is just to so now let's check if it's valid. Those make sure that ability is valid. If it's not, we return. Here we go. So now we have the ability that's currently playing, so the ability that actually spawned this collision actor. Now that we have that, we can just do ability get ability level. Here we go. Now the last parameter that it asks for is a gameplay effect context handle. Let's make one. How do we make one? It's pretty easy actually. So f gameplay effects context handle. I'm gonna call it effect context equals. We can make effect context just like this. Now we can set a few things on it before passing it to the spec handle. I'm gonna set add source object. It's gonna be the owner, and we can also set the instigator, which can be the owner again, owner, and then the effect causer can be this. And you can pass in whatever you want in this. So the effect causer is gonna be this collision actor. Alright, so now we can pass that in. Effect context. And that's pretty much it. Now we have an effect spec handle that we can use to apply to the other character. Now, since we are looping over all the gameplay effects that we have, I need to store all the spec handles that we are creating. So I'm gonna make a new, let's see here, doesn't matter, new property. I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna make an array f gameplay effects spec handle cache effects specs. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, we'll call it that. So now all we have to do is to just store the spec handle that we just created. Here we go. Now we can use this array of spec handle and apply all the spec handle inside of it to the actor when we hit it. Okay, so let's make a new function. Call it void. I'm gonna call it apply gameplay effects. Yeah. Oh, and wait a minute. It needs to take in an actor. A actor, other actor. Here we go. Let's delete this one. So now all we want to do here is first to check if the other actor is valid. Otherwise we return. Now if we do have an other actor, we can get the ability system component of the actor that we just hit. Now that we have access to its ability system component, we can loop over all the effect spec handle that we have stored in our array. So let's do that. Effect spec handles. Effect spec handle. Cache effect specs. Yep. So now that we are looping over all the effect spec handle that we have, all we need to do is just apply all of them one by one, which is pretty easy. You just call the ability system component and call ApplyGameplayEffects to self, and then unpack our effect spec handle. So we do it like so: effect spec handle data dot get, and here we go. That should apply all the effects that we have in our array. Cool. Now we do need to call this. Let's go up. Actually, where is my effect spec? I'm gonna call this in initialized. So when we first initialize this actor here, so that it prepares all the effect spec that we need to apply to the other actor, and then when we overlap, we can then with apply effect passing in the other actor, we can then apply the all our effects. Cool. And now, one last thing before I compile this is I do want to be able to see the ability system debug screen, and to be able to see that, I need to go to my it's called, yeah, it's here, default game. I'm gonna add a new script here. Script gameplay abilities, that ability system globals we use debug target from HUD, I believe. Yeah, I think, is that right? Oh wait, target. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, let's compile and see. Alright, so now if we hit the other actor, it should apply the effect on it. Now how do we know? Well, let's do a show debug ability system, and then press page up. Let's hit that guy. Boom. Oh, well, nothing is happening. Let's figure out why. I'm gonna add yeah, let me just add a log here to see if it's actually applying the effect. UE log, let's do log tab. As I'm compiling this, I do notice that I didn't check if the effect spec handle is valid. So let's do that also. Wait, before compiling this, let's make sure the effect spec handle is valid here. I'm gonna put all of this in here. Alright, let's compile again. Okay, let's try this out and see. Okay, it says that it's applying the effect. What is my show debug? Yep. I am hitting. Huh. Oh, alright. So after digging a bit, I just noticed I made a typo here. That's why it wasn't showing. My god. Alright, so make sure you don't have any typos here and everything should work. Okay, let's give this a try again. So again, let's show debug. Hopefully it's gonna work. Oh, beam. And yeah, video. Oh, cool. It worked. So as you can see on the left, where it says owned tags, you can see it says hit react stagger. So we did apply the tag. Let's do this again. Hold up. Show it, page up, select the other actor, and then I'm gonna hit it. Beam. And yep, it does apply the tag. Cool. So now that we can apply the tag to the actor, I want to trigger an effect. I want to trigger an ability when we do so. So I'm just gonna copy the taco and rename it. I'm gonna call this Stagger. We don't need an input for this one. We don't need to use the controller rotation yaw. And I do want to be able to re-trigger this ability again, so that if we are playing this stagger animation and we get hit again, we should restart the animation. Okay, all good, and let's find a montage to play. I'm gonna go to my assets folder in animation, damage here. Let's play, let's see, damage back, damage front. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, I'm gonna create a montage from it. I'm gonna call it just hit react stagger. I'm gonna change this to 0.1 and 0.2. Cool. So now in Stagger, let's replace this. Alright. And now let's go to triggers and add a new trigger here. So what we want is when we add the tag hit react stagger, we want to trigger this ability. So I'm going to change this to own tag added. So now when this tag is added to this character, it's going to play this animation. Cool. And let's not forget to give the ability to our character. Yep, here, ability. I'm gonna add it here. Oh, that's not it. What is it? Stagger. Cool. Now I added it to the of a player character, so I'm gonna have to do this. Alright, let's see if it works. Yeah, it does. But as you'll see, you can't trigger it a second time because we can't remove the tag currently. I will work on that later, but it does work. So if I do this again, and I hit him, boom, it plays the animation. Nice. Now we can't do the same to our enemy character, unfortunately, so let's fix that. Let's go back to the C++. Let's go to our character, so enemy character. Yeah, our enemy character is pretty empty. I'm gonna make a new function here. I'm gonna call it void initialize ability system. Make that cool. And what I want to do here is just get my ability system component that's on the base character and initialize it with this and this. Now in begin play, I can just call the initialize that I just created, and also I do need to add abilities, and that's a function that we created on the base character again. Okay, all good. And that should be it. Now let's compile again. Okay, cool. So now let's go to our enemy character and give it the ability. Let's add Stagger. Alright. So now if I hit him, I should see, yep, it works. Cool. Do it again, just to make sure. Yep. Now it's hard to see. Maybe I could zoom in a little bit. Let's see. Let's do 400. Wait. 400. Yep, as you can see, now when we hit, it triggers the Stagger ability. Alright, it works. That's it for today, I think. And next we're gonna work on how to remove the tag once we applied it. Oh, and by the way, if you want, you can actually, wait, where is it? If I do this, and you can give it a duration if you want to play around with it. Wait, where is it? This one, duration magnitude, and let's give it a duration of, let's say, 1 second. That should automatically remove it. Let's just this. So now if I hit beam 1 second, yep, and then it removes itself, and then I can keep on doing it. But that's not how you want to remove the tag. Now we'll work on that on the next tutorial anyway. Alright, hope you learned something. Like, comment and subscribe, and join the Discord, and see you in the next one.